Hi everyone, Harris here with iDownloadBlog, and I first checked out Apple's keyboard folio case for the iPad Pro back in my freshman year of college in 2018, and it was a really cool accessory, kind of brand new for the iPad, really interesting, really slim, really impressive, and now that I've had it for a few years and that several other keyboards have come out, including Apple's Magic Keyboard, and lots of third-party ones such as from Logitech and Zag and Bridge and a lot of other different manufacturers. How does this keyboard stand up, both in terms of just its feature set, but also literally how does it hold up quality-wise after all these years? So I'm going to divide this video into pros, cons, and neutral with a final conclusion to see if this keyboard case might be right for you. And let's start with the pros. So starting out, number one, easily, it's just its slim profile. You can hardly even tell that this is a keyboard case, which is what makes this so impressive. If you're someone who only sometimes needs a keyboard and you don't want to lug around all the extra weight of a keyboard, then this is the one for you. It features a keyboard in a case that just doesn't seem like it would have a keyboard in it. And on top of that, it makes it extremely flexible. You can easily flip the keyboard around back and just use it as a regular tablet without adding too much weight or thickness to it. So you never really need to take off the iPad, which is fantastic for a lot of super portable setups. And you can throw this in pretty much any little pocket or sleeve in a bag that's big enough for the overall dimensions. But the thickness is just not even a factor with this case. A little bit for the weight, it's obviously a little bit thicker and definitely heavier than if you get something like the normal folio without the keyboard, but it's super impressive how portable and slim this is and how easy it is to completely remove the iPad if you just want to go into tablet mode, and then how easy it is to put it back if you want to automatically align this to get started with your typing. And that is basically one of a kind with this keyboard case. No other case has these smart magnets, attachments, and thin profile like this case. Basically, when you're using this, you never have to take the keyboard off of your iPad if you don't want to, which is not something you can say about a lot of other keyboards where you often want to take it off because it's so bulky or heavy and you just want to use the iPad. Now, in terms of the neutral category, I would say price relative to the competition. You can get for less money Logitech's keyboard case, which features a trackpad and a function row. That's awesome. And even right now on Amazon, Apple's smart keyboard is only $200, which is only $20 more than this, and that's an easy recommendation for the $200. So I think this should be cheaper. It's just more expensive than pretty much any other keyboard on the market and offers fewer features. So you just always have to kind of keep that in mind. Secondly, there's no Apple Pencil storing mechanism. A lot of cases now have some type of strap or some way to keep the Apple Pencil secure. This falls off in my backpack all the time. Not a big deal, never runs away or anything, but it's the same thing as with Apple's Magic Keyboard. Doesn't have any type of mechanism to secure the Apple Pencil. Next is just the quality and the material. Again, after a few years, it's starting to peel around the corners. There's obviously some marks where just the oils and the usage and the wear and tear are starting to show. It doesn't look great, and to be honest, it never looked great because it has always been this very boring gray material. Rubbery, it's starting to get not sticky, but kind of on the stickier side as some of the matte texture rubs off. It's not terrible and it's totally usable, and all my keys are still pretty clean and functional, but it definitely has gotten dirty and a little bit worn out after a few years of usage. But all things considered, for 3 years of usage, it's held up pretty well. Granted, I'm not an author or a writer, so I think if I use this for typing all the time, and a lot of other people that I've seen use this a lot, their keys wore out a lot quicker. Next is the fact that you only get 2 viewing angles with this. You get 1 and you get 2, and you can't adjust it at all. And it's also kind of an uncomfortable angle. It's down where I'm so used to now Apple's Magic Keyboard that has a really nice viewing angle or hinge, and that's awesome. So the viewing angles are super basic, super minimal here. They're not bad, and you do get 2, but they're just not great, especially if you're using this in bed. I've found that I much prefer Apple's new mechanism for the stand and for the viewing angles. And then 2 other issues. There's no function row, which again, neither does Apple's Magic Keyboard. I love function rows. They're so handy for volume and brightness and other quick controls. And then it's not backlit either. Some people don't use backlighting that much. I don't personally. but this does not have backlighting. And finally, it doesn't have a trackpad, which again, this is built to not have a trackpad. You can get a trackpad in other cases if you want, but I'm so used to using a trackpad with my iPad now. And if you're trying to kind of replace a laptop, you really do need a mouse or a trackpad. So if you're going to be using this case, or if I'm going to be using this case, I need to be carrying around a mouse with me, whether it be Logitech's MX Anywhere 2 or 3 mouse, or the Logitech Pebble. There's some really great portable options, but that's extra cost and extra weight. And then in terms of the negative, I don't actually like the typing experience. I think that the fabric keys are kind of shallow and not super satisfying. They feel kind of stale to me. I don't like it. They're not clicky and tactile like I like it on my MacBook Air or the Magic Keyboard. Now, I know that other people disagree with me, and some people love this typing experience. If you can test it out, I would recommend it, and it's not bad, and you do get used to it no matter where you're coming from. But if I had a preference, it would definitely not be this keyboard texture or design or layout. I just really don't love the fit and the finish and the feeling of the keys on this keyboard. I don't type as quickly, and I don't like the sound as much. I just don't like the feeling. So the biggest part of this keyboard being the keyboard, I don't love, and that's kind of my biggest con, but that's a personal issue. Not everybody's going to agree with that. So at the end of the day, I think this is just a little bit too expensive for a subpar typing experience, in my opinion, that doesn't have a mouse, because I do need a mouse and a keyboard. If you're someone who just writes and you just want something super slim and you use just the tablet aspects of it a lot, you use it without a keyboard a lot, this case would kind of make sense, and you can always pick up a mouse and use the same mouse that you use with your computer or your desktop or your laptop or whatever. For me, I would definitely need to carry around a mouse, which would kind of defeat the purpose of this slim device. So I will stick with something a little bit thicker and heavier and more expensive, with either Logitech's Combo Touch case or Apple's Smart or Magic Keyboard Folio. I think both of those options are better for me because I do love the trackpad experience on the Smart Keyboard. So this is a really good product, and again, if you're looking for something slim, it's great. But if you don't use the keyboard a lot, just go for a much cheaper keyboard option and then buy a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse or something like that. Otherwise, if you're looking for a function row or backlighting or better viewing angles or more protection or an Apple Pencil holder or just anything like that, you're going to want to look elsewhere. I'll leave links down in the description. Let me know your thoughts, and thanks for watching.